able to get started with a 30-minute sprint. I'm about to do just 30 minutes of work. I believe in sprinting my way to success. Doing aerobics, even in creative work. So, I want to talk about three things to protect your mission, three things to do to protect your mission. Okay? While I'm setting up the table. So, if you hear me go silent for a moment, it's because I'm bringing things downstairs. I might have to stop the video and actually go upstairs. So I'm gonna pause the video, y'all. Okay, it's gonna be a brief pause, but don't go anywhere. I'm just pausing the video for a moment to go up into my private space to do this little short break time video. Some people are on break at work, 15-minute break. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this video as I set things up. I'm gonna freeze the video and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I told y'all I would be back. Okay. Hey. So I had to set up boundaries, y'all, because the energy is a little bit chaotic. People doing too much, even the animals. So I'm going to work in my private space today. So one of the first things, hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. One of the first things I realized you got to do to protect your mission is you have to I wrote it down here. You have to have silence beyond the familiar. You have to make that a priority. I know people say silence and quiet, but trying to have quiet in the same familiar place, it's not that abundant for your frequency, because when you're having silence, you're also thinking and releasing. Those thoughts gather and collect in that place. So old thoughts can still act as clutter. When you have silence in an unfamiliar place, your energy hasn't had time to gather there to block you. So old thoughts that no longer working for you, when you were trying to have, get through the silence to have positive affirmation energy, your old thoughts have not gathered there. The unfamiliar place has to be most of the time outdoors. Okay? So even if you go outside where you live at, it can't be like you keep going to the same spot outside. Okay? It can't be so predictable. If other people know that you always sit and go to a certain spot outside, their thoughts are traveling to you as thinking of you in that place. So then it causes some sort of static in the silence. So it's like they're making energy phone calls to you. So you have to be in unfamiliar places through your year, and no one knows you're going to be in those unfamiliar places. I think the Dalai Lama have a very compressed quote that talks about that. The Dalai Lama say once a year go somewhere you never been. But here's what I realize. A year can be spent in one day, literally. So actually the Dalai Lama's quote, if you change your perspective of what a year is, what time is, it would be every day. Now, the unfamiliar, as I said, could be a different spot within a place. Okay? Anybody understanding this? I might get on video for a moment, y'all. I might get on video for a moment. But y'all know how I'm real funny about getting on video between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. because people like to project instead of doing mindfulness. They like to attack online. So I don't really want that energy coming at me. So another thing to protect your mission is you have to pick carefully, purposely, and wisely who will receive your energy. And I don't mean just people that you know. I mean, people that you also cannot see online. With this being said, is you have to remember that every sin is stealing. Okay, I heard a minister say that every sin is stealing, and people are different people who are watching you, and you don't know they're watching you, and you're doing your mission in front of them. You don't know what sin they dealing with. So if somebody's watching you and they're trying to impress their mistress, and you say and do something that would impress their mistress, then because they're already instilling energy, because adultery is still stealing, every sin is stealing. They're already in the stealing energy. They're going to be comfortable with taking from your mission to impress their mistress. Never assume the majority of people who are listening to your mission publicly are without sin. Most of them are sinning. And I mean, every one of them is stealing. Okay, the numbers for divine ones is even lower now that we had, the pandemic. So, um, so we can't go by the old scriptures or how many people is divine now. We can't go by that. So we have to look at when we're doing our mission publicly, we have to look at a high percent of those people can't be trusted. This is why you have to know most of the time, you have to know who is receiving your energy when you're doing your mission. This means a high percent of your content needs to be under lock and key. It needs to be like you purposely let the person in and you know who's getting in. When you're doing work on some apps that are so public and everybody can hide, you need to treat those apps like you're just like somebody working at a food bank. You're just sharing a couple things, and there's no guarantee that you're going to get all your money for sharing it because you don't know how many sinners is watching you. So you have to treat the public apps like that. That means that what you put publicly, even offline, even when you're outside, people are listening through their windows and pretending like they're not. Even when you're outside, you need to make sure that you're not giving your very best publicly. Your very best is people who respect you, people who is willing to earn your presence, meaning they're going to pay to hear you, they're going to sign up, they want you to know who they are. Those are people who deserve your best work. And we know this because when you put books on Amazon, you can pretty much see um, people buy your work, and you can pretty much see like what region the people are from that's buying your work. And often people will leave reviews when they buy work, so you get to see also who buy your work. So that's still a form of boundaries that you set up on like Amazon and things like that. Even Pinterest, you can pretty much see who saved your doc. When you save docs on Pinterest, it says so and so saved it, so and so follow, whatever. So purposely, wisely, carefully, specifically choosing who receive. Not everybody is biblical. Not everybody believe in sins or karma. Actually, a lot of people don't. Since the population of narcissism is so high, especially in the male community, 77%. So you have to look at the odds. The odds is there's going to be a lot of people that shouldn't be receiving my stuff when I go public. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Okay. All right. And understand that um, public law is really not for you. I know. I know because all public law that's not within the court building, court and private court, all the public law is also for its own gain. It's trying to make money. It's trying to win fans. It's trying to meet quotas. So it's not really going to care care if the people who receive your work is disrespecting it or taking it. It's not going to care. But when you're working in a business that allow you to have private access to your work, it's going to care. It's going to care. That's why it has that option. All right. It has the option of you being able to track who's getting your work. So it has to care if those people don't respect it. Okay, now I'm still setting up the desk. Still setting up things. I want to put this stuff over here. I want to pick a writing sprint. I'm going to get to the next one in a minute. In a minute. Okay. The third thing, I might leave that up here. The third way to protect your mission is, now you heard disappear for 6 months. Disappearing doesn't work if you're still who you are. Okay? So when you disappear, you're disappearing also with the memory that people remember you as. This means having a total makeover on top of where you're going, where you're working at. Disappearing doesn't mean that you're checking in, you're answering your phone, you're letting people's texts come through and you're communicating with texts. That's not disappearing. In today's world, people just see disappearing as nobody knows where you're at. But if people can still reach you whenever they feel like it, you're not disappeared. If people can guess how you're going to act and how you look, if people can guess what your struggles are, you have not disappeared. Okay? So, disappearing means nobody, absolutely nobody, knows anything about your plans. No one can guess. No one. It means you just disappeared. You didn't even give a warning. People who know that their mission is sacred and so important, they don't feel like they got to give a warning to disappear. They don't have to say, well, I'm going to be off the map for a couple of months and weeks. What do you think people are going to do? They're going to hack your energy before you go. They're going to try to guess where you're at. People don't like boundaries that they're not used to you putting up. They see that as a challenge. So when you disappear in your mission, when you close out, you just close out. Unless you got people working under you, you don't need no one to know when you're closing out. If you notice, even store owners, they will tell their worker bees when they're closing, but they tell their worker bees they're not allowed to tell nobody. And until it gets down to the last couple days where they're trying to get rid of their overstock, nobody knows that they're closing unless the government decided to release the information. And normally by that time, the process has been going on for a while. So a part of protecting your mission is willing to say, I'm just gone. I don't know when I'll be back. But every part of my mission requires me to be just gone. It don't require, I can't even tell family members, I'm going in this room and I'm not coming out for a couple hours. See what I'm saying? Curiosity will lead them to try to think of what you're doing in that room. So their mind becomes an obstacle for you. They're thinking. So you just be gone. You just be gone. Stephen King never lets anyone know when he's writing his new book. Nobody knows. I don't even think his wife knows. But let me tell you how thirsty people are for other people's mission. There are people literally imitating the process of famous people step by step by step by step by step. Even when they think they're gone, even where they think they go, just to see how fast they're creating and how they can do what they do. This is just how much we're in a shape-shifting world. People are doing that to Stephen King because they are so thirsty for his millions. And I think that is like so sick and twisted that people are putting videos up on YouTube now saying, "Oh, I did Stephen King's process every single day for 3 months. I ate exactly like him. I went exactly whatever." All because he finally released a book talking about the writing life, and now everybody's sitting there. A lot of them are sitting there trying to figure out how to get his work done like he got it done, being him. This is why, until you are very financially stable in your mission, you cannot let people see your whole process. Because when people try to be like you, it's because people been watching your money. No one wants to be like somebody who they feel like is unsuccessful. People imitate people whose success they can watch. Hi, everybody. So this is why I say, until you feel like you have enough money to sit on and retire and do anything you want to do, you pretty much cannot let people see your process. Okay. Um, look at Charles Bukowski. There's a whole endless group of people imitating his writing style, imitating what he's writing, and imitating what he read about. It's like a whole bunch of men doing that. And they're all complaining that they're getting rejections. They're getting rejections is because they don't have a unique process. And publishers can tell when you don't. Your work can be good, but if it's too familiar, like you're trying to be like somebody else, then they know that your mission is not, it's not refreshing. That your mission is not unique. They know that their audience is going to get is not going to feel like they want to come back as something unique they didn't put out. So this is why even if you go to disappear and you want to have a glow up, you can't be like, I'm gonna have a glow up the way somebody else had a glow up. Protecting your mission is saying, I have to make sure that I do this my way, that everything else is just inspiration. Everything I use is not the action, necessarily the action I have to take in the way they're doing it. It's just a suggested action step I should take. So let's say people say, oh, during your mission, do affirmations, do this affirmation. You don't do that same affirmation. You make the affirmation new. You create your own affirmation. You create your own perspective in the affirmation. This way you protect your mission. You're not sharing an affirmation that everybody else is sharing. See, that's not protecting your mission. Your prayers to God is personal, it's unique, it's distinctive, it's different from everybody else. Your mission needs your own customized affirmation. Everything must be customized. That's how you protect it. There's no one else out in the world like it, so it doesn't really have much competition. Okay? All right, y'all. Head on out. Thanks for listening. I helped everybody on the break. As I said, a lot of these videos you'll see going private or they're not on the channel. It's because I'm moving them to a different channel. Thanks for listening, everybody. Bye.